World leaders are officially freezing out Donald Trump as the Iran war collapses. A retired French general lashed out, saying Trump shot himself in the foot by ignoring his allies. The British and Europeans are now refusing to join any offensive missions in the region. This massive diplomatic rift is leaving the United States completely isolated. Is this the beginning of the end for Western unity? Watch the full breakdown of this historic collapse now. Taiwan is sounding the alarm as the war in Iran depletes critical U.S. missile stockpiles. Their leaders expressed deep concern that America's heavy use of Tomahawk missiles in the Middle East leaves them vulnerable to China. While Trump claims full support, the reality on the ground shows a dangerous shortage of interceptors. This strategic blunder could change the balance of power in Asia forever. Can the U.S. handle two major fronts at the same time? Donald Trump just handed Iran a massive $14 billion gift by removing oil sanctions. While Iran mocks the U.S. administration, they have taken full control of the Strait of Hormuz. Now, international ships must pay a toll to Iran, and they are demanding payment in Chinese Yuan instead of the dollar. This is a direct hit to the U.S. economy and the global standing of the greenback. Trump's America First policy seems to be backfiring very fast. The Middle East has been set back 30 years due to the current conflict, according to the CEO of Qatar Energy. World business leaders who once sought protection from Trump now feel betrayed by his reckless decisions. Massive investments in American startups and IPOs are being pulled back as regional stability vanishes. Even if the war ends today, the economic damage will take decades to repair. Trump's decision-making is leading to a global catastrophe. Japan is in turmoil as 82% of its population opposes the ongoing war. Protests have erupted outside the parliament in Tokyo, with citizens furious at Prime Minister Takaishi for not standing up to Trump's bullying. Trump's remarks about Pearl Harbor and his dismissal of Japanese concerns have sparked a diplomatic firestorm. This isolation of key Asian allies is a major win for China and Russia. The world is moving on without the U.S. Trump has issued a terrifying 48-hour ultimatum to Iran. He warned that if the Strait of Hormuz isn't fully open, the U.S. will obliterate Iran's power plants, starting with the largest ones. In response, Iran has threatened to target every U.S. base and desalination plant in the region. This means millions in Arab nations could lose water and electricity instantly. We are standing on the brink of a total regional collapse. Who will blink first? Oil prices are surging toward $200 per barrel as the Red Sea and Persian Gulf face total shutdowns. Iranian proxies are ready to close vital shipping lanes, making global trade nearly impossible. This isn't just a military crisis, it's an economic death sentence for many nations. Bitcoin is crashing, and global markets are in a tailspin. Trump's aggressive stance is pushing the world toward a massive financial bankruptcy and total chaos. While the world watches Iran, Trump is busy endorsing Viktor Orban in Hungary, a known Putin ally. Reports suggest Russia was even planning a fake assassination attempt to boost Orban's poll numbers. Trump's administration seems focused on dismantling the European Union and supporting anti-democratic regimes. This shift in foreign policy is causing a massive divide within NATO. Are we witnessing the intentional destruction of the Western alliance system? Iran is feeling more confident than ever, claiming Israeli skies are now defenseless. Despite Trump's claims of decimating their capabilities, Iranian missiles recently hit sensitive areas in southern Israel, causing over 100 injuries. The Revolutionary Guard is using new tactics that have left regional air defenses struggling to keep up. This new phase of battle proves that the war is far from over and is actually escalating to a much deadlier level. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are reportedly leading secret negotiations with Ukraine behind the scenes. While these non-diplomats try to mediate, world leaders are skeptical of their intentions. Zelensky confirmed meeting the team to discuss ending the Russia-Ukraine war, but the shadow of the Iran conflict looms large. Trump's reliance on personal friends instead of professional diplomats is causing chaos in international relations. Is this real peace? The U.S. dollar is under attack as Iran forces trade in the Strait of Hormuz to be conducted in Chinese Yuan. This move, supported by China and Russia, aims to dethrone the dollar as the world's reserve currency. Trump's removal of sanctions gave Iran the leverage they needed to execute this plan. As the dollar weakens, inflation in the U.S. could skyrocket, affecting every American household. This economic warfare is just as dangerous as the missiles. A massive fertilizer shortage is looming for next year due to the disruption of Middle Eastern energy supplies. This isn't just about fuel, it's about global food security. Experts warn that even if the war stops now, the systemic damage to supply chains will cause catastrophic food price hikes. Trump's war is literally threatening the world's ability to feed itself. We are looking at a cascading effect that could lead to famines in vulnerable regions. Trump's latest threats to obliterate Iranian infrastructure have put every Arab nation with a U.S. base in the crosshairs. Iran's military had explicitly stated that any attack on their fuel or energy will result in the destruction of regional IT and desalination plants. This eye-for-an-eye strategy ensures that no one wins. The reckless rhetoric coming from the White House is making the world a much more dangerous place for everyone involved today. The latest reports highlight Trump as a malignant, narcissistic leader whose decision-making leads to catastrophic outcomes. From bankrupting businesses to now potentially bankrupting the global order, the pattern is clear. World leaders are no longer just annoyed. They are genuinely terrified of Trump's unpredictability. He is making bad decisions into catastrophic ones, leaving the U.S. with fewer friends and more enemies every single day in the world. Military analysts are shocked by the depletion of U.S. air defense interceptors. Spending $4 million per missile to take out cheap drones has left the U.S. stockpile at a record low. This is exactly what Iran and its proxies wanted to drain American resources before a larger conflict. Trump's lack of a sustainable strategy is being called out by generals across the globe. We are fighting a high-cost war that the U.S. simply cannot afford. France General Richoux didn't hold back, calling Trump's war in Iran a total disaster. He pointed out that Trump has a history of erratic behavior, like wanting to invade Greenland. His oldest allies, especially the British, are telling him they are no longer on his side. This freeze out by European powers is unprecedented in modern history. Trump has managed to alienate the very people the U.S. needs to maintain a stable world order and peace. The CEO of Qatar Energy warned that the Middle East's destruction is generational. The pay-for-play schemes that some investors thought would buy them protection from Trump have failed miserably. Instead of stability, they got a war that has ruined infrastructure and halted growth for decades. The betrayal felt in the Middle East is deep and will likely result in a massive shift away from Western partnerships toward Eastern powers like China and Russia. In Hungary, Trump is doubling down on his support for Viktor Orban, calling him a strong leader who defends his borders. This endorsement comes at a time when Orban is trailing in the polls against pro-democracy leaders. Many fear that Orban, advised by Putin, might provoke a conflict with Ukraine to stop the upcoming elections. Trump's involvement in Hungarian politics is seen as a direct attempt to weaken the EU and help Russia's regional interests. The Strait of Hormuz is now a toll booth for Iran, thanks to Trump's policy shifts. Countries like India are being forced to pay millions just to move their goods through the region. This added cost is being passed down to consumers, raising the price of everything from electronics to food. By removing oil sanctions, Trump gave Iran the keys to a global economic choke point. The strategic failure here is immense and will be felt for many years to come. Is Trump helping Putin and Xi Jinping by choice? Some analysts believe his focus on the Iran war is a deliberate distraction that benefits America's rivals. While the U.S. is bogged down in the Middle East, Russia is solidifying its hold on parts of Europe, and China is eyeing Taiwan. Trump's America First seems to be putting America's rivals in the lead. The global landscape is being reshaped in ways that could permanently diminish American influence. The Houthi leaders in Yemen are celebrating the Iranian missile strikes on Israel. They have declared readiness to shut down the Red Sea entirely, working in tandem with Iran's control of the Persian Gulf. This pincer move would effectively cut off major global trade routes. Trump's claim that he has decimated these groups is clearly false, as they show more coordination and power than ever before. We are witnessing a total failure of U.S. deterrence. Trump's behavior toward allies like Japan is being reported internationally as a sign of total immaturity. Instead of building bridges, Trump is busy bullying them and mocking their history. This behavior is driving a wedge between the U.S. and its most loyal partners, leaving the nation isolated and weak. World leaders are watching in shock as the leader of the free world acts more like a schoolyard bully than a diplomat in these critical times today. A secret intelligence report suggests Russia was working to stage a fake assassination attempt on Viktor Orban. The goal was to boost his poll numbers before the elections. Trump's vocal support for Orban, even in the face of such reports, is deeply troubling to pro-democracy groups in Europe. It appears the Trump administration is actively working against democratic values abroad to support autocratic leaders who align with Vladimir Putin's interests. The price of fertilizer is set to explode next year, creating a systemic risk to the global food supply. Most of this has already been purchased, but will it even arrive? The disruption in the Middle East means logistics are a nightmare. Farmers across the world are terrified of what this means for their crops. Trump's war is creating a cascading effect of economic catastrophes that go far beyond the battlefield. A global hunger crisis is very near. Trump's 48-hour ultimatum has the world on edge. If he follows through and hits Iran's power plants, the retaliation will be swift and devastating. Iran has already mapped out U.S. targets across the Middle East. We are looking at a scenario where no one is safe, and the global economy is obliterated. World leaders are desperate to stop this madness, but Trump seems determined to push forward. Is there any way back from the brink of World War III?